Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the third grade concept of arrays. This is standard 3.4D in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 11 of the 2024 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. All right, so we have this very simple picture here. There are 8 squares on each row of a game board. One row of the game board is shown. How many squares are on 8 rows? All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to open up the graph draw feature, and we can increase the transparency a little bit so you can see behind it, but we actually want to use the graph draw feature here. It's going to actually kind of help us. And if we want, we can change the size if we think that would help us. Right, and so let's see if we can use the connect line feature. Take a look at what we've got. 8 squares. You see it alternates between light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. What I want to do is I want to use this connect line feature, and I am going to just start up here, and I'm just going to count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, so those are my 8 rows. And I want to count over because there's 8 squares in each row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You could do this on the smaller size if you wanted to, but I just thought the bigger size would be a little bit easier to count your 8. All right, so what we've got here is we've actually represented the grid that we need. And if we want, we could draw lines in between. And we could say, all right, so here are my 8 rows. And this would help us count. And really what we're doing is we're making a large array, right? That's an ordered set of objects in columns and rows that helps us visualize what's going on when we multiply. So if you really wanted to count each one, you could actually use a tool on the STAAR test to solve it. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go back to my draw button, and if you want, you can just start counting these out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? And then we can go 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now, at this point, if you want, you can continue just to count out each number. Hopefully by this point, though, you're thinking, you know what? We're just skip counting by eights. And hopefully we know our eights because we should know our multiplication facts up to 10 by 10 by the end of third grade. So let's just put our eights in this last column right here, right? So this is going to be 8 times 1 is 8. This is going to be 8 times 2, right? 2 rows of 8. This is going to be 8 times 3, so that's going to be 24. It's going to be 8 times 4, 32. So that's half of our board is 32. Let's do 8 times 5, 40. 8 times 6, 48. 8 times 7, it's going to be 56. And then this is what we're looking for. This final number, 8 times 8 is 64. So that's what we've represented here. This first row is right here. There's 8 squares. We just didn't make them light and dark, light and dark, light and dark. But we represented 8 squares in a row and then did 8 rows of those 8 squares. So we ended up here with 64. Now take a look at some of our answer choices here. How many squares are on the 8 rows? We've already circled that 64, so we know it's going to be this. Let's look to see what some of the incorrect answers are. Well, that 56 shows you how many are in 7 rows. So maybe you didn't count the first row, you counted the other 7 rows, right? 8 is just how many are in 1 row. And then 16, that's just how many are in 2 rows. So each of these numbers show up on this board. They're all multiples of 8, but really what we're looking for is this 8 rows of 8. So once we've made this array, this ordered set of columns and rows, we can get that correct answer. So we are going to choose D, 64.